Hey, what's going on everyone? Vega here for SerpentX Tech, and we got ourselves a package from Newegg, and this is just a quick overview and unboxing or quick look at the Aorus Elite RX 9070 XT. This GPU is one of the higher end GPUs, does cost a little bit more than the MSRP that it should be running at, especially for the performance that's provided, but I can't wait to get it into my system. So let's just take a quick look at what comes in this box. Packaging looks pretty good. The box packaging is actually pretty long, but no more than your standards. Not as thick as, like, say, the 5080 or the 4090, stuff like that. Definitely a slimmer card. Got all your different languages that says powered by Radeon RX 9070 XT, supports DirectX 12, equipped with Gigabyte WindForce cooling system. I believe this thing has phase change thermal paste, and on the back side here, key features, obviously RDNA 4, 64 compute units, 3rd gen RT and 2nd gen AI accelerators, AMD HyperRX Fidelity, DisplayPort 2.1A, system specifications. Now, I don't understand this. It says 850 watt power supply or greater, which doesn't make sense for this card. This card at the most may draw about 350 watts. So 850 watt power supply. I mean, even with your CPU pulling 250 watts, that's still a bit extreme, but maybe I could see it. But yeah, so you should be able to get away with a 750 watt, 650 watt, depending on your CPU, but 850, I always run 1000. The lowest CPU or power supply I do have is 850, so I guess that works out. Besides that, we got some marketing language here: ultra fast gaming, one-click boost, immersive ray tracing, which we know the ray tracing performance on these cards are not that good, but we'll do a proper review in the future. They did improve the ray tracing capability, not exactly surpassing Nvidia, but definitely closing that gap. And then it does provide decent compute performance, and I'll provide all that data and stuff like that again in an upcoming review. I do like the overall design or aesthetics of this GPU. The exterior looks really good, especially the RGB lighting and stuff like that. It does have a vapor chamber with composite heat pipes, so it should be very decent cooling. 2 DisplayPort, 2 HDMI, where most cards that I've seen are 3 DisplayPort, 1 HDMI, so that's kind of cool. And then of course we got a metal backplate. Not sure if they have thermal pads, because this is still GDDR6, and we know that's flip chip, so most of the heat's going to be coming from the back. I hope they put thermal pads to try to dissipate that heat. Once you get out of the main box, you're going to be presented with a little pamphlet. I'm sure this has maybe some basic information, maybe a couple stickers from Aorus, the warranty. Yeah, nothing special or anything that I would scream home about, but yeah, just your basic documentation. Maybe a quick start guide talking about the installation of the GPU sag bracket, if you really care about that. In my case, I don't really have to battle those issues, but these GPUs are getting so damn thick and so damn heavy that yeah, I can see why that works out. There's our sticker. Here's our GPU sag bracket. It looks like it's a couple pieces that we have to put together, and then that looks like it goes on the inside. But again, I'm not going to worry about the GPU sag bracket. Here's our screws. All of this to make sure that it doesn't sag. This is, yep, a 3M sticker. Maybe you could put it on the GPU sag bracket if you really wanted to, or if you wanted to on the front side of your case, but I'm not going to do that. And then this is another part of your GPU sag bracket. You see the rubber right here to try to have a nice place for it to hang on to. Looks like the bar will clip into here. Again, not too concerned about it, but just want to talk about what you get in the package. And then electrostatic protection for the GPU. Let's get it out of this container. So something to note here, the stickers on here say Gigabyte qualified. If you see that the stickers are torn and this is not a secondhand GPU, be careful. Maybe it's a replica or a scam or something similar to that. But yeah, the stickers, basically once you peel it off, they tear, kind of like a warranty void sticker. Let's go ahead and look at the actual GPU that's on my desk. There's a lot of peel that you're gonna have to do on this particular GPU. It wraps all the way around the GPU. I guess it's good for protection and stuff like that. Here's a new WindForce fans. Like the design. You can see the RGB, that little white section going around the rim of the GPU. Kind of looks like the RGB section, or what produces the RGB lighting. And let's take a look at what the size of these fans are and the overall length, width, and height of the GPU. So fans seem to be right underneath 100 millimeters. Each one is about the same size. If we really wanted to go from wing to wing, that looks more like 92 millimeters. So the opening right underneath 100 millimeters. The overall fan size right around 92 millimeters on each one. Card length, we're looking more around 13 inches in length, plus the actual end of the IO connection. So it's about 13 and a quarter long. Height is right underneath 6 inches, and thickness is right around 55 millimeters, or if we convert that to inches, 2.16 inches overall. So not a bad card. Definitely won't fit as a simple 2-slot design. So your small form factor ITX build might be a little bit bigger than what you would like. Founders editions will be better for that, of course, if you don't burn up your 12 VH power connector. And speaking of power connector, this card has triple 8-pin. Thank goodness they didn't go with the 12-volt high power connector, because I don't want to have a melted GPU on our hands. Now, looking in here, I'm not seeing any thermal pads on the back side of the memory. That's quite unfortunate. However, if you wanted to add it yourself, that's certainly possible. The overall fin stack is actually a pretty decent size. I'm going to guesstimate how thick that is. Let me get that measurement for you. Looks to be about 25.8 millimeters, or about 1 inch overall for like the actual fin stack, at least over the main area where the GPU die is sitting. But of course, as we move over here, some of that fin density gets cut down to make room for the 8 pins and stuff like that, but then continues towards the rear side of the GPU, where we do have pass-through capability, so that fans can be pushing air through the back of the card. There's a lot to be blocked off here. Aorus could have done a little bit better with that, because this is just reducing the amount of airflow and cooling that you could have. If they would have opened this up a little bit more, that would have been better to see. I do believe this section right here that's kind of protected is RGB capable, so we should have an RGB light there, RGB light along the side, and then an RGB on each fan. But we'll go ahead and throw it in the system and show you that before I let you go. But yeah, this card looks pretty good. Very interested to see how it performs. I'll bring you all that performance data in the future. Stay tuned. Make sure to get subscribed. Now let's get this plugged in and show you what it looks like in the system. By the way, I did measure the distance between the PCB and the top of the back plate, and you're looking for thermal pads about 2.5 millimeters, maybe a little bit bigger. If you've got a 3 millimeter thermal pad, it could squish out and squish down, so that way you can add decent cooling for the memory, right? Because the backside of the memory has where most of the heat is. Yes, you could dissipate it through your heat sink, but if you wanted to add thermal pads, you're looking to do 2.5 or 3 millimeter to try to use this back plate, which is metal, to dissipate some of that heat. Here's what the card looks like in the overall system. We do have a dual BIOS switch for quiet and performance, which is currently on performance. And I will say that the flickering RGB that it's already set on default is a bit annoying. We can manage that with the Aorus software. And the fans that you're hearing are my Noctua fans, not the GPU fans. I wouldn't recommend spending over $700 for this card. This is one of the higher end ones. If you can get it more around $650, $600, I would go for it. But looking at the overall benchmark scores of the AMD 9070, 9070 XT, and some of the RTX models, it really comes down to the type of games you play and which titles that you like. If you like a lot of ray tracing and quality images, maybe go RTX. But if you can deal with the performance and it's not a first-person shooter, AMD can be a good option at the price to performance. But again, remember, Counter-Strike and some of the first-person shooters take a huge hit on the 9070 XT. So just bear that in mind. Good luck to you. Let me know what your thoughts are of this card down in the comment section below. And do me a favor on the way out. Hit the like button, get subscribed, hit notification bell to stay up to date. So let's check out additional links in the description to help support the channel and what we do here. And I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.